road to Dev Patel's directorial debut, Monkey Man, was a long and complicated one. After finally getting the financing, production was nearly canceled due to the pandemic. Then, after production was moved from India to Indonesia, filming was again stopped when Patel broke his hand, forcing them to change all of his fight choreography to compensate. They completed production in 2021 and sold the film to Netflix. But the streamer quickly sought a way out as they were concerned that the film's blatant political message would threaten their distribution in India. Eventually, Jordan Peele came aboard as a producer and convinced Universal to purchase the film for distribution. So it is no surprise to say that Monkey Man is a bit of a Frankenstein's monster, undergoing years of work in the edit with notes coming in from multiple different studios. Some of those notes were detrimental to the film's effectiveness, like the cowardly decision to change the color scheme of the film's villainous political party from orange to red in order to make it less obvious that Patel is drawing a parallel to the ruling BJP party in India. But despite some of those compromises, it seems Peele's presence helped polish the film into an overall exciting and entertaining experience that still packs a powerful punch. Monkey Man centers on Kid, played by Patel, a young Indian man who is seeking revenge on those responsible for his mother's murder during a police raid that expelled his village from their land when he was young. Those two men and the primary villains of this action-revenge tale are spiritual guru and politician Baba Shakti and police chief Rana Singh. Working as a monkey-masked fighter at an underground club on the side, Kid infiltrates a luxury nightclub that Chief Singh frequents, planning to take his revenge. But revenge tales are never clean, and Kid soon learns that he will need additional help to succeed, and in the process grows to understand the broader political struggle he is a part of. Monkey Man is definitely a bit rough for Patel's first film out the door, but it is an entertaining ride, and I think it shows a ton of promise for him as a director as well as an action star. There are some truly brilliant action sequences, the first brawl in the nightclub chief among them, where Patel shows real talent for directing action and an exciting willingness to seek unconventional framing that makes his movie look and feel quite different from a lot of other action films. You can tell he isn't just shooting coverage and editing it together later, but had a specific vision for how he wanted to move us through the action. Unfortunately, though, it's obvious he didn't include enough wide shots in that vision, and ran into trouble in the edit because of that. Several action sequences in Monkey Man become incredibly claustrophobic and confusing to watch because of how tight the camera sticks to the action. And even outside the action scenes, Patel seems allergic to wider shots, giving his cinematography little room to breathe. While clearly inspired by intense shaky cam action films, I wish he would have taken more inspiration from Bollywood musicals, which understand that we want some room to take in the full choreography and get a sense of the space these characters are in. Plus, there are definitely some pacing issues. Unsurprising for a film that has faced so many challenges on set and in the edit. Nearly everything leading up to the first brawl in the nightclub is exhilarating, but then the film grinds to an awkward halt in the middle, eventually picking back up for a tremendous third-act conclusion. That isn't to say that Monkey Man's second act is boring or uninteresting, though. In fact, it is here that we find the film's most interesting political critiques. I only wish they had been better integrated within the flow of the film and were not subject to unfortunate compromises. Reflecting on his position in Indian society, at one point Kid says, "They don't even notice us. They are living up there and we're stuck down here. That's not living." Monkey Man owes a lot to the Indonesian action film The Raid, which follows a police officer as he scales a multi-story apartment building to get to a gang leader at the top. Patel echoes this basic setup with his nightclub, as Kid first must work his way up from the kitchens at the bottom to the luxury spaces at the top where his enemies are. It's a great action film setup, but Patel also uses it to critique both the class structure of capitalism — we all worship one god, the Indian rupee, Sharlto Copley's ring announcer says early in the film — and the class structure entrenched in Indian society. As mentioned before, the saffron orange of Patel's fictional political party, before it was sloppily changed to red in post, was an overt reference to India's ruling BJP party. Led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the party is defined by its social conservatism, neoliberal economic policies, ultranationalism, and religious zealotry in the form of Hindutva, which seeks to establish Hindu hegemony. In Monkey Man's world, Guru Shakti is leading a very similar political party's rise to power on the eve of a national election. And as Patel grows to understand the Guru's role in the raid on his village, he also starts to see himself as just one of many who has been hurt by his right-wing project. In the second act, Kid is rescued by a group of transgender people, or more specifically, third gender, known as Hijra. As has happened under Modi's government, this group has been brutally targeted by Shakti's followers, and the temple that had become their sanctuary is under threat of seizure, something Kid is obviously familiar with. It is here that he trains for his final confrontation and connects his struggle to theirs, transforming this revenge tale into one of liberation. Not all of this is communicated perfectly, though. The most glaring issue is the film's attempt to reclaim Hindu iconography from Hindu nationalism without acknowledging the reactionary movement's main target, Muslims. While the inclusion of the Hijra people is a welcome radical statement of solidarity with that community and other queer folks, Muslims in India have suffered greatly under the Modi government. Whether a Muslim perspective was always excluded from this narrative or was cut by the studios from fear of alienating conservative viewers in India, it was a cowardly omission that blunts the film's impact. The struggles of queer folks, the poor, the lower castes, and Muslims are all linked, and a truly liberatory film would have had space for solidarity with all. Still, despite these problems, Monkey Man manages to be a radical breath of fresh air in the action genre, which is filled with many films entirely uninterested in making any political statement at all. It serves as a warning against charismatic conmen who use religion to gain power and demonize other groups. It shines a light on the Hijra people and their struggle for liberation, in addition to giving them badass representation in the action genre. It has a basic but appreciated critique of capitalism and the caste system in India. Plus, at a time in which it's rare to hear a ton of criticism of the Modi-led government in Indian media, and especially the Indian film industry, Patel's decision to make an action revenge film about trying to kill blatantly BJP-coded villains is pretty radical. Monkey Man is a little shaggy, and its political critiques don't all come together, but its heart is definitely in the right place. Plus, with Patel's charisma as an actor, some stellar action sequences, a cast full of Indian acting legends, a fun soundtrack, wonderfully colorful imagery, and a fiery political message, it's an easy film to recommend, and a promising start to Patel's career as a director. I'm giving Monkey Man 3.5 out of 5 stars. It is currently available on Peacock and VOD.